lot of things going on other than what's happening in a particular parish, but I assist with supply clergy when there is a vacancy due to illness or vacation, something like that. Some of our parishes don't have regularly assigned clergy, and so that's something that was new to me when I took the job. I spent a lot of time trying to schedule supply clergy. Also, I assist with rector searches, coordinating all those processes. There are canons that have to be followed in how a rector search is done. Also, when your parish might have need to have interim clergy between rectors or vicars, I assist with that. I can give you a template for how to prepare a contract with that clergyman and things like that. Also, there are often questions about the canons. How do they apply? How should they be interpreted? Again, I invite you to call me with those sorts of questions. I don't claim to be the expert to end all experts on the canons, but I have studied them quite a bit, and I'll help you understand how those apply in your, as well as the customary and the Constitution as well when that's applicable. What else am I supposed to say, Christy? Yeah, that's okay.
So what is the best way to contact you, Canon?
Yes, the best way to contact me right there is my email, jhampton@adfw.org. If it's not urgent. If it's urgent, please feel free to reach out. I have my cell phone with me every moment of my life, like most modern Americans and Westerners do. It's right beside my bed when I go to sleep at night. And I also text, and so if it's an urgent matter, I would encourage you to call me on my cell or text me. If it can wait a day or two, email's good.
Canon, that is super loud. Okay. Canon, do you get a lot of questions about the customary?
I get a fair amount of questions about the customary, especially from the clergy. You know, what is it that I'm supposed to do in this particular situation or that one? Yeah, a lot of good detailed information in the customary.
So just for everybody's edification here, can you tell them a little bit about what the customary is and where they might find that?
They can find the customary at our diocesan website under documents and publications, along with the Constitution and canons, not only of our diocese, but also the provincial, the ACNA canons are there as well. The customary is the bishop's communication to the clergy and people of the diocese about how we customarily, hence the name, do things in our diocese.
Thanks. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the most common questions that come up about the customary as we go on. But the next staff member that we have here is Dale Ward, and she is the bishop's secretary. She is also the diocesan registrar. So besides the canon, she is the person that you want to call when something's happening. She can help direct you to the canon or to the right staff member, and she can make sure that you get to the person you need to get to. But Dale, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you do?
Good morning, everyone. Like I said, if you call the diocesan office, more than likely it is me that I'll be answering the phone, so I'll direct your call to whomever you're asking for to best fit your situation. I handle membership, so if you have changes in your membership each year, like your vestry and things like that, I need to be updated with those with like our church information sheets that need to be filled out annually, the annual reporting, which is found at the ACNA.org, which is due every year by March 1. That's a annual thing that needs to be taken care of. I do ministry safe and background checks, and ministry safe, I can set someone up that's at your parish that is the supervisor for y'all so they can keep up with those things, or you can just send me the names and the emails and I can do that for you, whatever best fits the situation. Background checks, we do those. I'll do those. I have forms for those, and I have an example of them. But anyway, you can get those filled out and send those to me as well. Email those to me, and I can turn those into imperative. And those are good for every 3 years. So ministry safes it's 3 years as well, isn't it? Both of those things, ministry safe and background checks are every 3 years. So like I said, on the crucial things. I mean, it's not that I need those information, the diocesan people need that, you know, the workers that are dealing with those things, and need to know who to reach out to take care of those things. So the annual meetings is a good time to do the church information sheets and the parochial reporting information, stuff like that, that allows you to get your ducks in a row. And then later on, then it's just a win-win for us there that's in the office. So, like I said, as soon as y'all get the information, y'all get it turned back into me, I input the data, and then we have the information that we can relate to the rest of the office to be able to contact the key people there in the offices, in the different offices there. So, things that you don't really think about when you're getting people's names and things like that. I need to know if someone has passed, if you have, because we don't want to send information to people that may have had a past spouse or something like that. So that's very, very important. You have new memberships, things like that. Let me know all those things. That way I can update our stuff, and then we'll be the best we can on that as far as the membership goes. Let me see what else I got. And once again, for those forms, the church information, delegate forms, clergy info sheets, all those can be found at fwanglican.org under the church admin resources. And for missions and mission stations, there is some here. There's a monthly mission report that needs to be done monthly. So if you don't know anything about that, please reach out to me and I can show you where those forms are and let you know that those things are something that needs to be turned into me monthly, because we keep track of your attendance and things like that. So, is there any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Were you saying that we needed to get you a member list?
That would be awesome if y'all do like an annual membership roster or something. I'd love it. I'd just go through it and just check my membership to your membership, and that way I'm updated. So that's awesome. If you have something like that, like a directory or something like that, you can just send it to me and I can just go through it.
Would you presuppose that if a person wasn't on it, they had died or gone away and you no longer needed something?
It would be nice to know if they passed, you know what I'm saying? That way I'm not putting somebody dead, deceased,
They're not on the member list.
but they could have moved on. But yeah, but if they have, in our system, if they have a giving unit or something like that, I can't just delete the person, you know what I'm saying? We try to clean our system out as well. So I can't just move the person if he's, you understand what I'm saying? It'd be nice to know if they had deceased. I can mark them as deceased. We can still send stuff to the spouse one way, the Mr. or the Mrs. So,
If they've moved on and you don't want us to mail to them anymore,
Right.
like not moved on to
Right.
glory, but moved on to another church or another denomination, and you don't want us to mail to them anymore, then you would need to indicate that for there.
or just say inactive, I guess. You can say inactive, and then I can take them out that way, I guess.
So, Dale, the reason why it's important that we, sorry, I'm not letting you off the hot seat yet. So the reason why it's important that we get these membership lists is because the diocese does send mailings from time to time, right?
Yes, yes, and, well, with our letters and stuff, we send out letters, and, yeah, it's just good information, like I said, and we send out, well, this is for the clergy and clergy families and things like that, but we send out, cards and things like that.
Pentecost and.
Right, we
yeah.
send out the Pentecost envelopes and discretionary envelopes, just different things that we send out that, be nice to have a current membership.
Who do you talk to if you want to meet with the bishop?
Say it again.
Who do you talk to if you want to meet with the bishop?
So the question was, who do we talk to if we want to meet with the bishop?
That would be me. Please do not email or call the bishop. I am the one that, I am the one that needs to get that information, and I will talk with Canon Hampton, and then if Canon Hampton, if it's not something that he handles, then we'll speak with the bishop about that. I mean, I know you can't believe it, but we have a lot of people that call him directly and email him directly, and if you do email him something, it would be nice if we were copied on it, you know what I'm saying? If we were CC'd on it, so we kind of be in the loop, so all three of us are on the same page, because it's a little crazy, so.
Excluding deeply sensitive, personal,
Right.
pastoral matters, obviously.
So, and I can be reached at dward@adfw.org. And it's the main number there at the office, 817-244-2885.
We also gave you her cell.
Oh. That's okay too, I answer that. Well, the deal is, my phone doesn't ring if I don't have your phone number in there, so if you really need to talk to me, you ought to leave me a message, and I will call you back.
So just a quick note about Ministry Safe from the finance department. It's very important that everybody is doing Ministry Safe, and we felt like it was so important that we budgeted for it in our operating budget. We used to actually bill the churches, but then we found out that maybe people might be concerned about how much, and so they might have done it together or as a group, and we really want you to do it individually. It's required for every person that has any kind of contact with children, even just being in the same room with them at some time. So we want as many people as possible to be Ministry Safe trained. So take the class, and the diocese pays for the $8 that it is for you to be certified. Yes.
All I want to say is I thought it was a great program. I've been through a bunch of them. I thought they did a super job.
Great, thank you. Yeah, that Ministry Safe is kind of really well known throughout the province, and we're really lucky that we have them right here in Fort Worth. So we've been blessed to have them in our midst for quite some time. Yes, Leanne?
So if the Ministry Safe is for every 3 years, will we get a reminder, or do we have to keep track of every 3 years?
That's a great question. So there should be someone at each parish that's sort of the champion or the administrator of the Ministry Safe. So, and Dale can set them up that way in the system, and so it's really their responsibility. And the system does tell you if somebody needs to be renewed, but it's the church administrator's responsibility. But it's also yours. Best thing to do is ask your administrator, hey, I haven't done this in a while. When should I be renewed? Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. And background checks, we are going to bill you for. Those get expensive. Yeah.
I might make a suggestion to the diocesan office in terms of whenever you're gonna make a diocesan requirement, there are 3 people who report to the diocese according to the canons, and those are, or have signatory fiduciary responsibilities, and one is the clerk. So if the clerk at every vestry was responsible to get to the diocese certain things that are required by the diocese for the church, then what you've done is you solidify that process and not leaving it to the administrator who comes and goes. Do you know what I mean? But you put it right into the church process and the diocesan process. So
Thank
it's
you.
just a recommendation.
Yeah.
The clerk is there, he's your person. Do you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah. I think for Ministry Safe, sometimes it's a different person, but any church can set it up however they like. Yeah. Thank you, though.
that isn't required by the diocese.
It's required, the Ministry Safe is required, yes, yes.
Is it required for educators?
You mean Sunday school teachers?
Well, for people that were in, say, public education, that
Yes.
gone through a process.
Oh, because you already are certified? Yes, you were certified at the diocese for its insurance purposes must have its own records, right? We are responsible for training you, we are responsible for doing the due diligence of your background checks. So if you had a background check someplace else, that's not our background check. So you will have another background check. If you've done Ministry Safe someplace else, those records aren't our
That's
records.
good, but it doesn't.
So you'll do Ministry Safe again with us.
Yeah, that comes up.
Because with the diocese, I do the Ministry Safe through the diocese, but I also, because I volunteer at Unity Gospel Mission, I'm supposed to, required to take their program as well. I just let you, keep you informed that, and I even send you the report that I've done this. It's just added layer, it's not the official, but it's just let you know, it's probably like a good interim report between the 3 years. So, yeah, redundancy, that's the word I'm looking for.
Sure, yeah. Additionally is great, but you have to have it at least once through us on the correct time frame. Okay? Any other questions about that? Okay. Well, thank you, Canon and Dale. They are your first line of contact. Remember that. They are your first call. Okay. You what? Okay, good. She's coming. All right. Well, we have one bingo. 19 to go, you guys. Pay attention. Okay. Okay, good. All right. All right. Well, let Jennifer know. Okay, so Deacon Wade, so next in line we have Deacon Kerwin Wade. He is the bishop's chaplain and canon for liturgy and worship. So Deacon Wade, I believe it is your responsibility to serve the bishop in all things liturgical. Can you talk a little bit about what that looks like?
First of all, I'd like to say I'm glad to be here. You have no idea how glad I am to be here.
Yes, he had last time this morning. Bless his heart.
Anyways, I am Deacon Wade, and my primary responsibility is to serve as the chaplain to the ordinary. The bishop is a relatively new position with the current bishop. When he asks me to be his chaplain, I have one responsibility. When he arrives at a parish for an Episcopal visitation, he wants no surprises. So that is what I try to do, is keep those surprises to a minimum. It's a relatively long process. Letters go out to each parish where he is visiting once the schedule has been solidified by Dale. And this letter has information on it, and also some deadlines, at least one deadline, and that deadline is important. It may seem sometimes excessive, too early, but knowing what the bishop's schedule is and what we do at the Diocesan office, we need enough lead time to get everything done. Lead time being, what does the shape of the liturgy look like in your parish? You know, there's 50 some odd parishes in the diocese, and I dare say there are 50 some odd liturgies in the diocese. Okay. Common prayer is a kind of a fallacy. It's a guide. That's pretty important. That's really where we begin, is with that letter. We ask you certain information. Do you have Episcopal acts? Those being confirmations, receptions, reaffirmations. A lot of churches have baptisms. We need to know all that well prior to the visitation. Pretty much that. Sometimes we send you the propers that we would like to use on any given Sunday, according to lectionary in the 2019 Book of Common Prayer, ACNA, which is the standard for the diocese. When you receive those, if those do not gel with what you want to do, we need to know immediately, because that's what the bishop preaches on. And it's nice to him to preach on the gospel, normally. Yeah. We had a case where somebody was having an anniversary for their parish, and they wanted to use different propers. They let us know, we made the change, and it was a wonderful service for St. John's 100th anniversary. Well, those are some of the things we do generally. There's just not Sunday mornings. There are special events, special occasions, special church events that we get covered, funerals, weddings, trying to think, anniversaries. That's what I can think of at the moment.
Okay. Well, you're also the point person for the diocesan customary, while Canon Hampton really is sort of interpretation and enforcement. Deacon Wade is a lot of the editing and the making sure things are documented. So, Deacon Wade, can you tell us anything you want to share about the customary that would help churches?
I think the canon covered it quite well.
Okay.
I'm really We try to get the customary out when there are changes. It's been kind of a 2-year cycle, and that's what we're trying to do. So we have copies, not only in English, but in Spanish. We do have Spanish customary. It's the same as the English and vice versa. So there should be no surprises for anybody.
Great. And you're also the point person for the deaconess program for the diocese. Is there any information about the deaconess program that you want to share or post it anywhere that you can tell us about?
Sure. I'd like to share it with everybody because it's a relatively new program. It's a very, very important program. All the information is now posted on our website, and we have it's for women who are set aside for special ministry within their parish. If anybody's interested, we do have a small handout I'd be more willing to share with you, or contact me directly. There are some initial discernment questions. The procedures are out there. It's a relational kind of thing with you and your rector or vicar about what's necessary for the parish. So one size does not fit all. We've had 3 individuals throughout the diocese for the last couple of years, and they are coming pretty much to the end of their time. They were kind of the beta testing group. So we've made several changes based upon their input, and we're always ready to make changes to fit the needs of the parish. And it's a great program, and we really would like to see anybody's interested, let me know. Okay, thank you.
And you said that's posted on the fwanglican.org?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're halfway through, and what's the best way to contact you, Deacon Wade? We've got your cell phone up there too.
Yeah, the reason, I'm a part-time employee of the diocese, so I'm not always there. I try to be there Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Okay, but if something comes up, you need to know something, some of the questions that sometimes comes into the office, we want this to happen during the visitation. Can we make this happen? And you know, if you have those kind of questions, or is this appropriate? Can the bishop do this? Can the bishop not do this?
What's the bishop's favorite beverage?
That too. I'll try to get that correct. But so I don't mind being in contact on my cell phone, text, or a phone call if it's necessary.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any questions for the first half of our panel? They are really serving, we all obviously serve the bishop, but they are specifically kind of in service to the bishop. Is there any questions on that?
I've just one quick,
Yeah, thanks.
and it's right at the top, and of course that's why I overlooked it. Every year the bishop makes his appointments and nominations, and when there is a director of liturgy who, in collaboration for most diocesan events, Father Francis is that director of liturgy. He does a wonderful job. We work well together. And there's also a committee for deaconesses, which is new this year. So I just wanted to mention those. Those appointments and nominations are important. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so you can reach out to those people as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Okay. Yes.
No question.
Oh, you got bingo. Okay, good. Okay. So now we're going to move kind of to the administrative side a little bit, and introduce the staff there. So next in line is Reverend Travis Province. He is our benefits administrator. So Father, what does that title mean in layman's terms?
Well, I do various things. Mostly, though, what I do is I handle all the employee benefits for the diocese. So that's all the normal benefits that you might think of. So that's medical insurance, life, dental, vision, disability insurance. I also manage our diocesan retirement program, our 403B program, and I also manage compliance issues So every once in a while, we've got some reporting that we've got to do to the federal government in terms of our insurance, and so I take care of that too.
Who is eligible for the benefits program?
That'd be all full-time employees. That's both on the clergy side and lay people. So that's, I think the criteria is 30 hours plus per week.
So if you have a church secretary or an administrator that you are paying, and she is working more or he is working more than 30 hours a week, that makes them a full-time employee. And they are eligible to participate in the benefits program and should be receiving retirement packages, contributions into the retirement program, as well as being offered health care. So when you're making your staffing needs, you need to be very mindful of that if you're asking someone to work more than 30 hours, or actually more than 29 hours, then that makes them a full-time employee. And because we are a fully employer-funded benefits program, by law, we have to offer that to both clergy and lay people. So that's really where churches need to make kind of that careful distinction of making sure that they're not asking someone to work more than that and not making them a full-time employee. So we just need to keep that below. Yes?
I'd just like to ask a question about the insurance. I mean, the industry writ large and what's happened in our country has made it, you know, the cost almost, you know, unbearable in some ways, you know, especially for small parishes. And at the same time, I think the industry is getting creative, and there's other tools out there where we can offer our full-time employees full coverage, where they have more control of their decisions without paying such an exorbitant rate. Are you looking at any other options for healthcare that might be great for still great full coverage, but a little bit more reasonable in price?
I think we look at that every year. So we do. We look at that every year. We work with our brokers. What you said there is very important. Still giving them the same coverage. And up until this point, many people have brought forward things, but they are not protecting our clergy in the same way. And what we all need to remember about clergy is they're very long suffering, right? Their stipends are not very high in relation to going out into the corporate world. And so if we get them on a program where they then have a lot of out-of-pocket expenses, which many, in order for healthcare premiums to come down, that means more has to come out of the clergy's pocket. So in the long run, somebody is paying for that. And what we have found is then clergy are not able to get the care that they need for their families and for themselves. So we actually feel really good about the program that we have. We were one of the first employers in the Metroplex to give this new program a try that we're on right now, and it was very controversial at the time that we were kind of switching to this new model. And so while it seems that premiums are high, keep in mind that it's 100% employer paid, but it's also not going into their salary, right? It makes up their total compensation. Where at the corporate world, we're used to thinking differently, right? We're used to thinking about, I'm giving my employee $100,000 and expecting them to live on that, but out of that $100,000, they also have to pay for their health care. They have to pay portions of that, and they have to make their retirement contributions. The way that our compensation is set up is you're looking at a stipend, then you're looking at the healthcare cost, and then you're looking at retirement as 3 different buckets, but it's all part of the total compensation.
We moved a whole school district to a high deductible HSA plan, and for 3 years, we filled that bucket for all of our teachers. So let's say it's a $10,000 deductible. We gave them all that in cash for them to then manage. So we made it whole in terms of cost, but what happened was, instead of all that extra money that money was able to be kept in those teachers' funds, because if they made different healthcare choices, they then could build that fund over time. So I know there is a way to get it whole, make it whole without giving all the money to the insurance companies, and it's maybe one, like, a bugaboo for me. I don't want to, belabor it. I just know that there's other options out there that I think would also give our priests and families choices.
Yes, and we have explored those. But those are great when everybody's healthy. When somebody's not healthy, those are not so great. And we just need to make sure that we're planning to make sure that our clergy are covered when they're not healthy as well. And what we have found is, what happens is, right, it's the diocese's job, it's the church's job to take care of that clergy person, right? So if someone gets catastrophically sick, and we have not insured them properly with the kind of insurance that will cover that burden then goes back on the clergy person, which then comes back on the diocese. And we have found that sort of bit us in the butt at one point. We allowed a church to kind of do something different and insure their person, which we will never allow again, and it cost the diocese a lot of money. So we definitely hear that. I love the feedback, I love the creative thinking, and it's something that we will bring up at our renewals. We talk about it every time, but there is kind of this, it costs a lot, and you see it as a lot, but in the end, it's making sure that we care for our clergy and protect the diocese and protect all of the churches from something catastrophic. That's what insurance is.
As a clergy wife, I just wanted to add into the bucket that clergy pay, they do self-employment tax.
Correct,
So
right?
that means 27% or 33% of the salary comes out of the clergy. So if you're paying, you have to pay 27% more to actually be giving them the salary that you think that you're giving them, because they're considered self-employed. So I
That's a
just
great
think
point.
that's an important point to
Yeah.
understand about where the clergy families are at.
Yeah, they're very long-suffering. So, thank you, that's a great point. Yeah. Okay, sorry, Father, I took over your thing.
No worries,
I
it's all
bet
good.
you are so appreciative that I did that right now.
Yes, I am.
Anything to add to that?
So Father, a big piece of what you do to manage the 403B and the medical and all of the compliance is that you are billing and processing payments. So what do churches need to know about the invoices they get?
Right, everybody loves to get those emails from me every month, I know. Right, so invoices go out once a month, so there are 3 invoices that go out. So there's a separate invoice for medical, a separate one for retirement, and then a third for life, dental, and vision. That's all bundled together. And I believe disability is also included on the life, dental, vision too. So, yep. Right. So when those invoices go out, if y'all would please remember to write a check for each invoice that you receive. So a check for medical, a check for life, dental, vision, and another check for retirement.
And noted on their check if you get to. Yes, and noted.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oftentimes, most people are pretty good about this, but if you would also make a note on the check, maybe on the memo line or something, what the check is for. A lot of times I can tell just by the amount, but it does help to have something there on the check.
So, and does salary affect anything? But Father, what do they need to tell you about speaking of those stipends and housing? Let him answer and then I'll get to you.
Right, so there are a few things that'd be good to keep in touch with me on. One is changes in salary. So if someone at your church gets a raise, that's great. I would ask that you please share the news with me as soon as you can, because the amount of an employee's salary will affect their retirement invoice, and it also affects the amount of short-term and long-term disability coverage that they are eligible for. Also, if you would please keep in touch with me on address changes for employees. Different notices need to go out to everyone from time to time, and finally changes in personnel too. If an employee is coming on board or moving on for whatever reason, that's helpful for us to know as quickly as possible. Also too, changes in people at the churches who handle payments. So, if you got a new treasurer, a new administrator, someone new who's supposed to be receiving those invoices, if you would please let us know as soon as you can, we would appreciate it very greatly.
So pretty much if anything changes, call you?
Right.
So what the thing to remember is that we need to know kind of everything that is happening in your office so that we can interact with you as well, just like you want to know what's happening at ours. Yes, ma'am?
Is the diocese paying for the vendor coverage for health and dental?
So the policy is that whoever is the full-time employee, they may choose a family plan and the church must pay for it. So the full-time employee and their family are eligible, and it is 100% employer paid. So, and that employer is the church. So when you say diocese, yeah, it's the church. Yeah. Any other questions? There's murmurings in that. I hear murmurings. Okay, so Father, what's the best way to get in touch with you? When are you at the office?
So I am at the office Monday through Thursday, 9 o'clock to 4:30. So you're welcome to give me a call at the Diocesan office, or if you want to shoot me an email, that's another great way to get in touch with me. And I think that's it.
Thank you. All right, any questions on benefits? That was great. Thank you very much for all that.
Didn't give his cell number.
Yeah.
Well, his cell number was not available in the directory. I think this is not his first rodeo.
Why didn't I?
Well played, Father Robbins. Okay, all right. So that was good that we got to circle back to you. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is the finance department. And our finances are so big that there's two of us. Yeah, so Danielle Harrell is our finance assistant, and Danielle handles all accounts payables, reimbursements, ministry requests for funds and payments, as well as billing for background checks. So Danielle, can you talk a little bit about what you do and maybe the online giving process, and just kind of walk us through a day in the life of Danielle?
Okay. For online giving, you'll go to fwanglican.org, and on the left-hand side in red, it'll say Donate to Diocesan Ministries, and you click on that. Through that, it gives you several options. You can donate to the diocese and its various ministries, Camp Crucis, La Gran Familia, Malawi, and in that, you'll choose an amount. You can choose it if you want to donate now, or if you want to set it for like your next pay period, or if you want to be recurring monthly. And you can set up an account, or you can do that, sign in as a guest. So if you have any questions on that, you can reach out to us, and we will help you with that. You can also send checks. So,
And Danielle also kind of collects all of our W-9s, so if you need to be paid or reimbursed by the diocese, you'll need to make sure that you get her a W-9 form.
I thought, okay.
Yeah, but go ahead,
The
say whatever
okay.
you're gonna say.
Generally, at your churches, you'll probably have two types that you will want to collect W-9s for, and that would be like your supply clergy and vendors that are not corporations. And you'll want to collect these, and then if you pay them over $600 a year, then you will, at the end of the year, create 1099s for them and mail the federal document and the recipient document by January 31st.
So when we might be taking them in for you because we're paying you, but Danielle's also wanting to make sure that all of you in your roles as administrative people are collecting them as well, for anyone that you might need to pay. And I've been told that we're out of gift cards, so keep paying attention, but your bingo chances are over. Sorry. But please, I know, but please pay attention. Please do not check out. We still have a few more.
Okay.
So anything else that you wanted to share with us?
Yes, one other thing is a registration link for diocesan events. I know like some of the churches will put on events for the diocese, like it might be the men's conference that we just had, the golf tournament, other ministry events. And so what really is a diocesan event is, those are your diocesan events, but like a church event is not one. Like we have had churches call and say, can you set up a registration for our chili cook-off? And that's not really something that we do. And so if you are in charge of a ministry and you want to have us do a registration link, you'll want to reach out to me. You'll want to give like a couple of 3 weeks, just because we have to fit it in with the regular work schedule, as well as we'll have to communicate back and forth to make sure that we have communicated all the details back and forth, so that when you're ready for your event to go live, then your registration link will be ready.
Does anybody have any questions about that? We get a lot of calls sometimes about the registration links
And we get a lot of last minute type. Like they
Yeah.
want it tomorrow when it just isn't
we need you to
feasible.
plan ahead, yeah.
Yeah.
Any questions? Okay, so, and that's the best way to get in touch with Danielle. Danielle's there all the time, really. And so Monday through Friday, and she's given the office number is the best way to contact her. Okay, so I am Christy Heffron. I don't know if I fully introduced myself earlier, and I am the Director of Finance. And so I work with Danielle, and so what I do, what you'll get from me is all the bills. You'll get bills from me, you'll get assessment statements, you'll get insurance statements from Father Brooks come out, you'll get risk retention statements. Somebody watching the game? Is it A&M? Is it A&M? You'll get, that's okay. You'll get risk retention bills from me, and again, as with the benefits invoices, we need separate checks. We have lots of different bank accounts that we put things in to keep track of everything, and we need to deposit those things separately. So we like those things as separate checks. I've gotten a lot of questions about, hey, why can't we just pay you directly? Like, can't we just do an ACH? And the answer to that is no, that would be impossible, because it would be impossible, and I'm going to tell you why. Because our accounting system, we do not hook that up with, we don't just download from our bank into our accounting system. Like the way that we do, the way that we have our business, it's just not that simple. It's not that simple that we can just put present things directly into our, there's too many accounts, and we're getting payments from too many places, right? So if I just downloaded a bunch of payments, how am I gonna match that up with our pledge records, right? We need to have that put in with our, it then needs to go against a pledge record, a contribution statement. There are things that need to happen with that I just can't say, oh, I got that payment and check it off. It's not like a regular accounting system. So I know many of you are thinking, of which I just heard, yes, you can do that. Well, the answer is we're two people, and no, we can't. So we really appreciate you writing us the checks, because then we see who it's from, we put it through our church accounting system, and then we make sure it gets into the right account. And we make sure that we credit you properly, we make sure that you get a contribution statement, we make sure that we're tracking your assessment. There's lots of things that go into that. So I realize writing checks is totally old school, but we still needed to do it. So we really appreciate you, and you have the option. You can tell your bank to send us a check. So you can still do it through your bank, and the bank will send us a check. And most churches, a lot of churches do that. You can just do it still through bill pay, and your bank will send us a check. Okay? So we really appreciate that, because otherwise it's just too much to keep track of. We're billing for too many things, and we're receiving payments from 57 churches. So I actually also act as the liaison with the finance committee, and also I think we had a big no just now. The liaison with the finance committee and the risk management committee. And so those committees are actually sort of, when you want to do something in your parish, those committees are usually the starting point. The risk management committee is a lot of policies and procedures. It has a lot to do with creating the insurance, and they're the kind of people that you want to ask about something before you do it. Our motto is not to ask permission, not ask forgiveness. We really like it when you ask for permission. We like to keep you out of the ditches. That's the idea. So the idea would be come and find out all that you need to know, because we're here to help. We're not here to hinder. We're here to help. So if you have a question, you can call me about that, and I'll get you in touch with the finance committee or with the risk management committee. Usually if it requires the bishop's approval or standing committee approval or the BOT, you're going to go through finance first. And again, your first call on that, if you can call the canon to the ordinary, and he'll put you in touch with me if we need to go through finance, and we'll get that process started. I also act as the HR department, so it's important for you not to base your decisions on what you think should happen, or what you've done in your workplace. We, as a church, are a little different. If you're not familiar with the canons or the customary or policies and procedures, it's important that you have someone to call. So I am available, right? So I'll receive any reports of misconduct. We want our lay leaders to sign acknowledgments of the ethics, the social media, the conflict of interest, and that the vestries can do that and hold on to that at the church, and then all of the clergy sign it, and we hold on to it at the diocesan office. So the best way to contact Danielle and myself, we've got that, and then I gave you my cell phone. I'm pretty sure the entire diocese has it at this point. And then we know that there's a lot of information that we've shared with you today. We have one more member of our thing, but I'm going to let him kind of do his thing a little separately, because he is the director of communications. Father Munson is our final member, and he is the director of communications. And so he's going to make sure that you know where everything is, how to find out information. We're going to give him the floor in just a second. But before we end this part, I just want to make sure that you remember that you start with, when you have a question, start with the bishop's staff, not the bishop, right? Call Dale or Canon Hampton, and they can direct you to another staff if needed. We are here as a resource, all of us, and there are many things that we do that are not unique to your church. You think they're unique to your church, but they're not. We've heard it, we've seen it, we've done it, we can help. So please make sure that you check in with us. And there's a lot of information that we're attempting to share on a regular basis to keep you informed and up to date. And that's what Father Munson is going to share with you right now.
Thank you very much. I'd like everybody to take your phones out. This is something you'll never hear at church. Hey, everybody, take out your phone. Go to adfw.org. adfw.org. And I know you've never been there because you couldn't answer Father McCrary's question. What does it say right there on the front page? Amen. Yeah, that's when he says, you know, where do these come from? And nobody knew. I thought, okay, you haven't looked at the website, have you? So that's what I want to do first off, is show you that. That is our outward presence. It's the presence that you can share with your friends and neighbors. It's got a place to find your church right there. It's got a little bit about who we are, what we do, some pictures of various things going on. If you scroll on down to the bottom, almost at the very bottom is a little link called resources. See that? Well, that takes you to the also wonderful fwanglican.org. It's not really a secret, but this is intended for internal use. It's intended for your use as administrators. It's been described as the best 90s website anybody has ever seen. And I did that on purpose. A lot of flashy graphics and pictures are great. I want information, and I want to give you information. So that's why it's so simple. It's just the facts. The first thing you'll see is a tribute to Bishop Emeritus Eicher, of course. And then donate to Diocesan Ministries. As Danielle said, the deaconess program. If you're not getting the news or something, subscribe there. World Mission Committee, prayer lists, deaneries. Media is a good one because it has lots of pictures, and Devin, is going around taking pictures of events, and I try to post a lot of those pictures there. There's recordings of various things that's happened, so it's a fun place to find information. Then down towards the bottom, you'll see documents and publications. This one and the church administration resources, which are important for what you all do, and that is the strategic plan is there. The clergy support fund request handbook is there, which is new. And we talked about our customs, and our customario in Espanol is there. So if you want that, and all kind of wonderful things are on that page. Also, the church admin resources have got stuff about parochial reporting. When is parochial reporting due, Dale?
March 1, due before March 1.
March 1, you got a week. It has to be your parochial. If your rector hasn't done it, get on him, please. And
It
have him
only
do
makes
that.
our bishop look good that it gets done beforehand.
Yeah. You don't want to get a call from Deacon Dale, as I like to call her. So that information is there. Now, what's on my next slide? I forget. The calendar. So the calendar is something I try to keep everything that's going on that people send to me to put on the calendar. And it's got not only the bishop's visits there noted, but it's got other events around the diocese that people are planning. Before you plan an event, take a look at the calendar and see if you got a clear day to put it on. Will be helpful to get more attendees, so there's not conflicts going on, that sort of thing. At the bottom of that calendar, there's some links to export that to your iPhone if you're techie like that, like me, so that you can have it with you wherever you go. Then the next one is the newsletters. The pillar is the monthly. That's going to be the most comprehensive. I try to throw in a few interesting things, like from the Anglican Compass, when I see something that is helpful for the diocese and our people. Then the news throughout the diocese that's the weekly. Typically on Monday, I'll send out a picture of where the bishop has been on the Sunday, and a few other things, and maybe some upcoming events that week. And as far as publishing events, we get a lot of requests, and I can't do everything. I can't get it all into one newsletter. So what we've kind of landed on is that we will publish events that are intended to be diocesan-wide. If for instance, the Absalom Jones Leadership Institute or those kind of things happening, Bishop's Ball, things like that are for everybody in the diocese. If you've got church things specifically to your church, you can still send those to me, but I'm going to put them on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter. And so that's got a pretty wide audience right there. It's probably wider than the 2,000 that I have in the Pillar subscription database. It's not big. It's not, not everybody gets it. But Facebook, as you know, that's where you find out everything. It's where I find out about my in-laws that have passed away, or my, my cousin's birthday, whatever it is. If it's not on Facebook, nobody knows, right? I love Facebook. But anyway, that's my job. I post it on Facebook for you. So, view this email in your browser is a little link on those emails. And when you click that, now you can see past issues. You can change your subscription preferences. You can send that to somebody else. They can subscribe. It's all right there, okay? Next, what do I have? The social media, that's the names of our social media links there. The one I didn't put on there was the YouTube, which I'm streaming this on, but that's FW Anglican, at FW Anglican, singular. It was available. And then news is the catch-all address if you want something published, or you need something in the communications realm. You want Devin to come take pictures. You want a live stream, whatever it is you need. We can help you. We'll do it. So if you have events you want on the calendar, you have other things you want to post on Facebook, that's the address. And it doesn't just go to me, it goes to the deacon and the other deacon and the canon, and we all look at it. So we'll try not to miss out on what you're sending us. I think that's it. Any questions or? All right, got it all. All right, you're welcome.
So the staff will be here for the rest of the lunch, which is going to happen now. I bet you guys are all hungry. And then what we're really hoping is to sort of keep the program going. So we're hoping that you can get through the line and get back to your seats, and then we will have a couple presentations while you're eating, even, because we've got a lot to do. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you now feel like you know who the staff is. I hope you know that you feel free to call and text and send us memes on our cell phones in the middle of the night, whatever you want to do. But please make sure that you feel free to ask questions and to engage and participate with us, because we're here to help. We want to be a resource for you. And I think we need to, okay, there's something, I'm being signaled something. There's drinks in the middle, the line goes over here, we're gonna kind of snake around, and we need to bless the food, Bishop. Okay.
The Lord be with you.
And with thy spirit.
Let us pray. Gracious Father, we give you thanks and praise for the morning that's drawn swiftly to a close, the information that's been shared. We ask that you bless the food before us, the hands that have prepared it, and ever keep us mindful and responsive to the needs of others. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
There you go.
There you go. Winner,
Good
winner.
job, everybody.
We don't have a contact card for you.